I keep on learning from sports people, from sports in general, but I will kind of talk to you about maybe a few defining moments for me in sports, which I looked and I kind of drew my lessons from that. So again, these are all for my lessons. I'm not telling you that you have to derive those lessons, but if you listen to it and you should find it useful, then feel free to use that. So here's a gentleman whom many of you may not even hear about, 1974. He was an Olympic champion, and then he went into professional boxing. I'm talking of Muhammad Ali, who is actually the smaller of the two people there. So this was the first time he was facing an opponent called George Foreman, who was the world champion at that point of time. And George was bigger, taller, and the world champion. And people told that Ali is going to kind of fizzle out maximum in 4 or 5 rounds. And Ali realized that, he and his team realized that you cannot, George Foreman is just stronger than you. You cannot beat him in strength. So what do you do with them? They said that, well, the only way to get to this man is to make him tired. Because when you are big and muscular, and if you keep on punching, then there comes a time when you gradually start, that acid builds up in your muscle and you will get tired. And if you can survive that, then probably you will have him. But that needed a lot of preparation. That needed the fact that you will have to survive in a ring with George Foreman for enough amount of time without getting killed. And Ali kept on practicing that. He said, let me get hit. But he also understood that here are some of the tricks which he can play. And when he got into the ring, and I'm trying to bring the picture, it is probably not very clear. He did something called a rope-a-dope, which means that he was taking advantage of the rope in the boxing ring, and he was swinging himself out of Foreman's reach. And that's how the cat and mouse game happened. And Ali was a trash talker. He would keep on irritating Foreman round after round. He was getting beaten, he was getting battered. And he knew that he can't win on points because Foreman was anyway scoring massive amount of points. He has to knock him down. And he continued till I think round 11 or round 12, he could see Foreman's legs are wobbling because he was too tired by that time. He has missed more hits than he could land on Ali. And he was also mentally completely disturbed because Ali was constantly trash talking, saying, oh, come on, this is what you have for me. This is what you have for me. Can you get me more? And finally, you know what would have happened. Ali landed his punches, and Foreman by that time had lost all his energy to survive. This is a very big defining moment in the history of sports. And based on that, a lot of articles have also been written. One of the articles in Harvard Business Review talks about a judo strategy, which says that can you use your opponent's strength to convert it into a weakness? So I love it because I'm a student of strategy, and many a times people will come and tell you that execution is everything. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. World is changing and there is nothing like a planning or strategy. You have to go and execute. I am not from that school. I think you have to plan. You have to understand your opponent's weaknesses. You also have to understand your own weaknesses and then go and fight it out. I think that's the lesson which I derive from this great moment in sports. Here is another lady. This many of you would be aware of, which is Simone Biles. She is the most decorated gymnast in the history. And she competed in 3 Olympics, Rio in 2016, Tokyo in 2021, and Paris in 2024. Rio was the pinnacle of her glory, where she won maximum number of medals. And then while she was competing in Tokyo, she had this strange, illness called twisties. And remember, she's a gymnast. She has to maintain her balance. And this strange thing happens when you jump up, then you see the world turning around you. So it was a disaster for her. And she had to withdraw. She didn't have a great Olympics. And she couldn't figure out that, I'm the world's best gymnast. I have given everything to it. And why did it happen to me? But something in her told that, look, bad things happen to people. And bad things happen suddenly. But that doesn't mean that all the hard work that you put is going to waste. So get up. Start doing what you believe in, and eventually you will get a result. And she got up. She got a lot of help from a support structure, etc. Till Paris came. She was not in her peak, but still she managed to win the all-round gymnast medal, which was still the pinnacle of achievement for a gymnast. She was nowhere close to her peak. So that's a very big lesson that, bad things happen suddenly to us, but good things take a very long time to build. And you have to be at it incrementally, time and again, time and again. And people would often talk to you about resilience. I wonder what exactly resilience, how do I develop resilience? I know that that's something very important, but how do I develop that? And maybe someone like Simone Biles has an answer to it. That what you do regularly, day after day, it will get you there. And even if bad things happen to you, that's fine, you will be able to overcome that. But the story doesn't end there. This is Simone Biles, who lost to this girl, the Brazilian girl, Rebecca Andrade, in Paris. If she was fit, Rebecca Andrade would have been no match for her. But given whatever has happened to her, finally she lost to Rebecca. But if you look at the video, you will find that she doesn't have any iota of regret or disdain. In fact, she was full of joy. When Rebecca went and finally did the vault and got the maximum points, she was enjoying. And in a very spontaneous manner, when they were standing in the podium, Simone went to Jordan Childs, who was from US, and said that, well, she has done a great stuff, let us bow to her. So look at this picture. The world's most decorated gymnast is bowing to the winner on that day very spontaneously. Nobody asked her to do that. There was no plus points for doing that. And this is the reason why sports impresses me so much. This is about sportsmanship. And I think if you are able to do that, then you will be able to face any failure in life, because you are looking at something merely because it is your joy, it is your passion. Not everything is great in sports, by the way. Florence Griffith Joyner is the world's fastest woman ever. Her record in 100 meters and 200 meters have stood for a very, very long time. I think those records were made around 93, 94. Almost everybody knew that she was doing something suspect because she was so far away, so far ahead of the pack. And she was also a glamour queen. She was so comfortable of winning that she could actually preen herself and dress in a very flamboyant manner in best of the races. Unfortunately, she passed away at a very young age, and many people tell that, okay, if she had survived for long, maybe we would have caught up with her. Now, whatever happened to her, I'm not going to speculate on that, but I think it's important to keep in mind that temptations happen in life. I used to have a boss in Oracle who would say that everybody has a price. You will not be unethical maybe for 10 lakhs, but let me raise the price. Let me say 1 crore, let me say 10 crores. Will you be able to resist the temptation? And we face temptation like that very often. I don't know whether there is any formula for overcoming that, but we have to be aware of it, that, well, what do we stand for? There are people who will cheat, who will get away, who will probably get the gold medal, who will get the world championship records. But, what do I stand for? And what gives me the satisfaction is a question which only you can answer for yourself. This is not for anybody else to speculate. The world is a horrible place at some people, right? We were talking about it. There is an evil axis. There is poverty. There is environmental damage. That's BP's oil spill, which killed lots of animals, lots of birds. That's Taliban, preventing women from studying and doing anything. And so sometimes I feel that, it's nice to say that, oh, go and change the world, do good, etc. But I'm so insignificant. What can I do? Do I really matter in the larger scheme of things? You feel powerless at points of time. That's when I think of this guy, Colin Kaepernick, who actually gave up a very lucrative sports career by protesting against, injustice against people of color. And he knew the consequences, but he says that we will kneel down, during the American anthem to express our protest of what is going on in US. Now the question is he going to change the world? Probably not. But I think the beauty of it is that he didn't allow the world to change him. And I think that's very important for me. We do all these protests, we fight against evil, maybe we'll not change anything, but that just ensures that I am not changing. So this is my pH scale. This is what I would judge myself by. Am I having a purpose? Am I having the passion to follow it? You have to have the perseverance. Many of them talked about it. I believe in hard work. Looking at sports people, I've never found a brilliant sports person who doesn't work hard. You have to be honest. Remember Muhammad Ali? He was very honest about what he had and what he did not have. He said, I don't have the strength, but I have the agility. And probably that's how I will win. And then to be humble. I mean, humility is not really talked in the context of leadership too much, but I find that very useful to think that most of the stuff that happens to me is sheerly by good luck. I have been born to privileged parents, and I just happen to be in places where there are plenty of brilliant people, plenty of my well-wishers. Actually, 3 of them are here in this audience. 3 of them are my teachers who have been very instrumental in influencing me. So that's what humility is about. That's my pH scale. We have talked about happiness quite a lot, and somebody told me this, that the secret of happiness is not to take yourself very seriously. When I heard this for the first time, I said, what does it really mean? I mean, you're supposed to work hard and et cetera, et cetera. But over a period of time, I have found out that, yeah, this does make sense because, even in the Indian philosophy, somebody would say that you have to be very detached from what it is happening. So, and then sometimes I wonder the futility of things that I do. I mean, one of the toughest things that I did last year was run 50 kilometers. But at the end of the day, imagine what I did, right? I started at 6 a.m. in the morning, I finished at 12 noon, going round and round in circles, ending at the same point where I started. Somebody is looking from outside saying, this guy must be a mad fellow, right? What is he up to? And many a times that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We do stuff to just time pass. And we are here in our lives because we are lucky, right? So the issue of humility, etc., just help us to kind of get the philosophy right. I remember talking to Gopinath, our badminton coach once, and he said that, well, when somebody wins, is Sania Nehwal or PV Sindhu, who were both his Gopi Chand, whose proteges, he said, when they win, I come and tell them that that's not a big deal. Move on. There will always be a tougher opponent, and etc. It's when they lose, I tell them that that's also not a big deal. It's just a matter of chance, couple of points here and there, and that's the job of my coach. So that's how, I like that. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, those are some of the words which I think has helped me in my life to stay focused. So in an age of blink it and 5 minutes to mindfulness, if you remember those pH scale, maybe it will help you in some way or the other. But finally remember to be happy. Don't take yourself very seriously. Best of luck.